people from Hawaii, because we're from Hawaii originally, friends here. And AC was a luxury growing up.
Oh yeah.
Like our car didn't even have an
No,
AC.
same here.
My Filipino mom said, "What do you need AC for? That ruins your skin," you know? And I'm like, "Mom, why don't you just say we can't afford it?" But she was trying to get on my vanity. Like she was like, "Your skin is going to look so beautiful when you're older," in our broken down Volvo that had all manual, you know, everything and no air conditioning. In my house in Hawaii, we don't have air conditioning in the house at all. Still to this day, it's just like, you know, I'm going to like stay with the plantation roots and pretend we should all sweat it out all the time. Yeah. Thanks, Krista. You're so sweet. All right. Well, let's get started. I know other people will be hopping in, but this is our monthly Ask Us Anything CEO circle, which we're super excited that you're all here. Now, before we jump into, I wanted to see all of your faces, or at least see your name on a black screen. But again, I just want to repeat what Sarah said. You can come as you are. In fact, okay, like my hair right now, y'all think this looks fancy, right? This is the easiest thing I could ever do with my hair in my life. It is so easy to do my hair like this. It is easier than curling it, than straightening it. I washed it, I dried it, I put it in a bun, done. That's my tagline. Fancy lazy. Then you put on some like hot earrings, you are like fitted. You know what I'm saying? So don't be thinking that you got to dress up. I'm also in my sweats. I went to the chiropractor today and it says on my sweat, I don't know if you could see it. It says grateful heart. And then on my sweatpants, it says, I am grateful. And my chiropractor was like, you know, you can't be grateful and angry at the same time. So that's just my little thing for today. He's like, and your nails match your outfit. He was like noticing those things. I go, I just naturally know how to dress fancy lazy. Sweats, but make everything else work. You know what I'm saying? So there's a little tip. So anyway, this is a monthly thing that Sarah Paikai and I do. I'm the CEO of Master Brand Institute for those that are new to me, and Sarah runs the company. She's the COO. And every month we field questions from everyday CEOs, entrepreneurial CEOs specifically, who want to get to the next level in their business. And frankly, we answer a lot of questions about our personal lives too, because a lot of people want to know the behind the scenes. What does it really take? How do I not divorce my husband? All the things, right? And so I don't believe there's any business problems in the world. Anything you want to solve in business can be answered on Google, honestly, and with a couple smart friends and advisors. But most of the time it's our personal lives and the way we're like managing our time and our energy that are getting in the way of what we really want to do and the impact we want to lead. And so I want to invite you to feel safe in this container. Can we all just agree by putting up our hands as a safe place that we can talk about those things? I just want to check in. If you don't want to show your camera, no problem. But if you could just put it in the chat, just to verify that you agree that whatever we talk about here stays in here. Obviously, we also send out the replay for people who register. So people who are registered, that's one of the rules on this campus. Okay, what happens in CEO Circle stays in CEO Circle. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We have some slides because we want structure is like our best friend here. We believe that when you can have both our faces and structure, it helps you follow along, right? And we took some pre-submitted questions and then we'll just open the forum for discussion after that. Okay, y'all sound good? Okay, wait, I want to do one more thing. So one of my other rules for women is that we are not well bragged enough. We are not well bragged enough. I want y'all to write that down. Well bragged. I want you to become well bragged. Okay, so I would like to invite you all to well brag in the chat. What do you do and how do you help people in the world? Okay, so that we can see the diversity of awesomeness here in this room. And also you might meet your new best friend or next play partner in business here. And we want to encourage that. Okay, so be well bragged. Tell me what you do and how you help the people that you help. Yes. Krista, I divorced the first one. So I'm on the second and I figure I want to keep this one. So I'm learning. Okay. All right. Divorce and life coaching. Yes, Krista, I remember that too. Thank you for your good work. It's so important. Like divorce with dignity is so important too, right? I mean, if 52% of people now get divorced, let's try to make it dignified, right? Let's all aspire to be Demi Moore and Bruce Willis. Okay. Uh, all right, Tracy, leadership coaching and training. Mari, licensed therapist and coach who helps BIPOC identify, cope with, and eliminate toxic behavior from their lives. Yes, you should know Diana for sure. You guys could be like best friends. Sarah helps CEOs create business structures and strategies to make impact and income in the world. Crystal, feng shui designer and clutter expert, help soul-driven entrepreneurs declutter and design a workspace that empowers them to create the life and business that they want. Yes, 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 yes. Nikki, transformational holistic wellness coach and consultant. Emily is in PR. Yes, getting seen and heard. Gina, event planner and owner of Walk Funded Venue and Retreats. Hey, Gina, nice to see you. Okay, right here, look at this. Diana Clear. I am the confident expert, social justice advocate, former civil rights attorney, and the founder of the Rise Advocates Academy. And I help professional women speak their dreams to power and become advocates for themselves and for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yes, she does. Crystal helps empower people to celebrate their lives as well as see their own beauty through portraiture. I love that. It's just getting better and better, Crystal. I mean, sorry, did I say Crystal? Because I was looking at Crystal's face. Yes, I did say Crystal. I'm like, I said it, and in my screen, my Zoom screen, I'm looking straight at Crystal Home, not Crystal McWhort. So I was like, Crystal with a K or Crystal with a C. Anyway, Nadine, lifestyle coach, helping change changes of color, working in healthcare, dream bigger and live authentically. Rebecca, philanthropic advisor who helps people proactively and strategically give funds to social purpose organizations. Catherine, Katie, I see you, Katie, dietary transition coach. Help people who have major food sensitivities to learn how to cook, grocery shop, and live as a whole while respecting their sensitivities. Like, this is a dope room, right? Like, there are amazing people here. And one of the things that we're really proud of on our campus is that we've always been what I call diverse in industry and culture here. And so it is so exciting to have Eugenius people here. All right. Okay, let's go. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. And like I said, I will go. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong shit. See? Okay, here. Don't put me in charge of technology.
I know, I was hesitant, but I was like, no, I think you're going to want to do the slides.
I know, I need like an assistant just for Zoom. I'm pretty sad. All right, so every month too, we do it around themes because we like to focus the conversation around trends that we're seeing with our clients, with our colleagues, with their organizations. And so we're going to focus on that and how to prioritize your business activities to go from possibility to actually get the work done. Because how many of us here are what I call visionizers? So we always have like ideas popping off, tons of things we want to get done, but knowing which ones to pick first and also finishing the ones that matter are struggles. Some of us are on the struggle bus on that stuff, right? And I got to tell you, I'm a recovering struggle busser. I am, but I am completely, here's what it is. I own the fact that I am not organized, nor am I good at finishing things. And that's a weight that we have to take off as CEOs, because actually you wouldn't be one if you were that organized and structured. Generally speaking, obviously there are outliers in the world. I'm not trying to stereotype everyone, but it's why you have to fight for structure. And what that looks like, and one of the things that I say is structure creates freedom. All of us are here because we desire more freedom and autonomy in our lives. Because I tell you what, having a corporate job is a lot easier than being an entrepreneur. It is 100% easier. So you signed up for heroics. Okay, you are heroes. People think, when you left the corporate world, or if you're still in it, like if you're playing double dutch, like you're on one side of it and then the other side, you you know that even though you may not feel fulfilled, let's say in a corporate job, the scary thing about entrepreneurship is we got to pay ourselves. We got to pay our teams, right? We got to figure out how to make an impact and still not lose our, our lifestyles. And there are moments in my own entrepreneurial career where I have lost my entire lifestyle. And there are moments where I've been the wealthiest I've ever been. And in between that space, what I've had to realize is the more I want impact, the more I have to fight. And yes, I am using the word fight. I have to fight for those structures and systems that help me feel free so that I can be left to create bigger things. I can be left to create relationships with people that I feel like I can collaborate with, that I can be free to help the people that I'm actually supposed to be helping, right? And so those structures and systems are priorities in my life. And the key thing I want you to take away is you don't have to be the one that is that, but you have to demand and fight to have it in your life. That's called leadership. That's called, leading your life first so that you can be more equipped as a leader of others, not just your clients, but your team, brick by brick. That's how we build empires, right? So anyway, we're going to move into some of these conversations now. Just a couple of our ground rules besides safety in the space. I am a big fan of context over content. And the reason for that is, especially in these online streets are full of like 5 ways to make $1 million in a year kind of things, but it doesn't tell you the sauce or the behind the Wizard of Oz facade. And context is what is the main ingredient to understanding how it works, right? So I'm a big context over content person. And also when you ask a question of me or Sarah, we have this coach one, coach all concept, which means something you ask or something you're curious about, somebody else needed in this room. Okay, so be looking for those lessons in your own life as you listen to the way we answer some of the questions. Every month, as I said, we do a theme, and we're going to use frameworks because we're big on frameworks and structures in our company, so that we can have a organized way to get through the material, but a way that is easily consumed, at least the easiest we think can support you in. And then we're going to answer your questions, and then we're going to tell you what's now, what's next. Okay, awesome. All right, let me just check in. Since I'm just talking away, right? Yes. Fight for structure. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, cool. All right, so our journey, and I think Sarah should chime in here too, because this is these are many. This is like 10 of the experiences we've had over the last 8.5 years working together. It's almost been a decade. We're gonna have our 10-year anniversary. Sarah and I are work wives. Okay, like that's the bottom line. We are work wives, and a lot of people want what we have, the chemistry that we have, the way that we can understand what each other is doing. And that didn't come easy for us. Okay, that's the other thing, because it's so easy to see when people have all the money, or they got all the fame, or they got all the glitz, or they have a team that is rocking. But it doesn't start out that way, right? It starts out with a lot of misunderstandings, trying to understand each other's language patterns, trying to understand each other's moods. I mean, if you got too many women in the room, there's cycles to be concerned with, okay, hormones. But men get their period too, let's just be clear. Okay, I just want to say our husbands do. But anyway, point is that, and maybe Sarah can share this, we met in a nonprofit room 8.5 years ago. I was teaching pro bono work at a nonprofit in Hawaii, where I was living at the time. So was Sarah. Now we don't live there, but we're from there. And it was funded by the local kind of small SBA. They have all these like factions. And if you were an entrepreneur trying to build something, it didn't matter if it was expert or it was, you wanted to build a bakery or sell baked goods, anything, cleaning services, you could participate. Can you imagine me? I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I was their teacher for the entire summer, and it was free to them because the government funded it. Okay. Now, the beginning, we had 20 people in the room. And by the middle of the program, there were only a few left. And the ones that were left were Sarah and her husband, Landon. And by the way, at the time, Sarah was not looking to build her own business. She was looking to support Landon in his business. He wanted to grow a graphic design company. And her husband is a native Hawaiian. He is a political activist, but we call him the gentle giant in Hawaii. He was running for office, and it was like a really cool thing. And I saw how she came prepared every damn meeting. Like, she was like notes. Landon was just listening. You know, he was listening. His energy is so beautiful, but he was just like listening. And every week they would come and they would do their homework. I was like, who's this chick, right? And anyway, they were the only ones that graduated. And the crazy thing is, I taught it again, and I had this dynamic duo, this husband and wife duo. They created a cleaning company, and now they're making millions of dollars in Hawaii doing government contracts cleaning. And they met me and got trained by me in business in that nonprofit. So can you imagine what is possible when you stick it out and you find people or peoples who are more organized than you? They are out there. In fact, most of them don't necessarily want to be entrepreneurs. I mean, they have vision too. They may want to be entrepreneurs, but they really get a lot out of labeling the right things, getting shit done, organizing things. They love it. Sarah, one of Sarah's favorite TV shows on Netflix is The Home Edit. Y'all like watch that Home Edit on Netflix. Like, she can put a label on anything, but she also puts labels on our business. And that's why we're able to run I'm a multi-hyphenate. How many of you are multi-hyphenates? You have different interests, right? Right now, I'm running 4 different companies, and all of them are profitable. And people say, oh, you got to focus on one thing, right? And I do agree with that. What it takes, though, is once you get traction in one of the businesses, it takes multi-hyphenate leadership and advisory to get you to be able to do a lot of different things. Okay. I think we're the only ones on these streets that can. And so we're happy that we can teach you the same. As you can see, we've been around the world together, Europe, like all over. We've done workshops and trainings all over the world. And Sarah hadn't even been off the island in years. She had, gone to Japan and whatnot when she was younger, but she hadn't been off the island in years because she was a stay-at-home mom with 4 young kids. And anyway, I'm talking for you. Sorry, if you want to chime in and just kind of.
No, this is all exactly.
And then one day on Facebook, okay, I said I was looking for an intern to help me do some video content. And she messaged me and said, I want to
have a screenshot of that Facebook message somewhere.
Yeah. And she messaged me and she said, I want to be your intern. This was like months after the nonprofit thing. And I was like, oh, you're overqualified and you don't want this job. You're going to hate this job. Like, do you have any video experience? And like, aren't you in accounting and admin? Like, I knew she had done some of that. I knew she had some theater background, but I didn't know a lot about her specifically because we're mainly working on Landon's business. I just noticed that she was organized as shit. I was like, this girl is going to make him rich if he listens. Okay. And then she's like, I don't care what you give me, but I want to learn from you. And have you ever mentored somebody in your life where they are so hungry for knowledge? They're so hungry to be led and they want to be on the mission with you, but you push them away because you think you can't afford them. You think that, like once you get your shit together, then they can come, right? You need to be, instead of like so mono focused on, I must learn how to be organized. I want you to be looking for the people more organized than you. That's a big takeaway right now.
Mm-hmm.
And ask yourself, how can you enroll them into your vision and your mission just by being you? I hadn't told Sarah Paikai what I wanted to do in the world at that time. I just gave my all when I taught her. And it's my mastery of my craft that attracts top talent. Your mastery of your craft will attract top talent, but y'all so busy with perfection and waiting for that special moment that these magical people are missing you because they want a
Yes.
purpose too. They want a purpose too. They want to connect their purpose to something bigger. And that's what we call being values driven. When you can align. And what's cool is Sarah's also a spoken word poet, you know, and she has her own small business doing that. But most of all, it's more about the craft of poetry for her. You know, if she makes money, great. But like, it's more like she doesn't want that to interfere with her artist inside, her mastery of her art. And so, can you connect the dots and be intersected in different ways and still make freaking good money? Yes, all of us can be rich. All of us can win. All of us can. I mean, you know, fast forward into the pandemic. We both moved what we call to the mainland, right? And we knew that we wanted to grow Master Brand Institute bigger. And you know, in the pandemic, I bought a vineyard. You know, Sarah and her husband bought a brand new house. And everybody's getting to win. You know what I mean? And even through all of that, we've had our disappointments. We've had our misunderstandings, right, Sarah? We've had our hard conversations. We actually even didn't work together for almost a year, midway through our relationship, because it wasn't working for us anymore. And frankly, both of us were physically getting ill. In fact, so much so Sarah almost died. And I was like, I cannot have you dying for my vision, right? That's not why we stopped working in the corporate world, so that we could give opportunities to other people to have the own autonomy and freedom that they desire too, right? So anyway, we share this story with you because we want you to know that it's not perfect, but it is. That's the whole point. It is. And we're ride and die forever, no matter what we do. Like whatever the next season is, like we're ride and die forever, whatever that looks like. And I notice on these online streets too that a lot of people, when they have so much turnover with their staff. Have you ever been like in another community where you notice like they got a new person every week, or there's drama, right? I mean, I don't want to brag, but our team is tight. Like we have consistency. We have something, we have longevity, we have loyalty, and not loyalty from a place of like Trumpism where it's like loyal to a fault. Okay. It's more like loyal because we give a shit, because we see how we all contribute. And that we also still get to live our own autonomous lives through it. How many of you want more of that? That's what this month's theme is, because many of you want to grow your businesses, but if you keep, I'm not going to talk too much about marketing and sales today, even though we are bomb at that, because if you can't get your time, energy, and money right, it's always going to distract you from that other stuff, right? And guess who else is going to distract you? People, little humans, big humans, moms, right? Neighbors. They're always coming. Life is a series of what I say, tsunamis and lazy rivers and everything in between. You know what I mean? And you notice like when we're dealing with a tsunami, we're just wanting that lazy river. So we're so tired and exhausted. We're like, let me just get on this floaty, on this lazy river. But what we're trying to find is that harmony between those two polar things in our lives, because life's going to come at us. I'm also not the type of person who will lie to you and be like, oh yeah, once you make some money, it's all going to get great, or make more money, or make like massive money. No, actually, you know, what do they say? More money, more problems. Or like I like to say, when you hit the next level, you're going to meet the next devil, right? You're going to meet the next devil, and they're going to tempt your ass and want you to come off your purpose. And it does to me too, FYI. So I'm no different than any of you. I just happen to be a master, and I say that with pride, of my craft. I am really good at what I do. And I know that you are really good at what you do. But do people know that about you? Do people know that about you? And that's what we're here to do. All right. So anything else you wanted to add, Sarah?
No, that's perfect context.
Okay, great. So let's talk about a framework that, back to like, how do you get what you want? Now, I actually don't even believe in productivity. I think productivity is a patriarchal term that was put in place to keep women in their place. Okay. I believe that it's about flow for us. It's where we can find that tipping point that makes us be in like this deep creative space where shit gets done, and that what comes out of our mouth is so clear to the stakeholders in our business. Stakeholders meaning your team, even if it's a team of one half of a teenager who does some of your social media, that's still a team, right? Your clients and your family, and perhaps your partners and friends. These are all the stakeholders in your business. So how do you find flow? Well, first you need to set intentions around where you currently are in your business. So we have 3 stages that we say entrepreneurs go through in their business. So stage 1 is what we call the possibility stage. Okay. And in the possibility stage, we're ready to get paid. We all want to get paid. Like, pay me. I know some shit. You should give me money, right? But the truth is that you're in the early stages. You're trying to figure out and be clear on what you want to message. You may have a signature product or program, but probably not refined yet. You have this burning desire, like the passion is so hot in the possibility stage. And you are putting foundational pieces in place, like getting an LLC or, buying your URL or whatever, right? But there's still a lot of uncertainty in your business, right? So if you're in the possibility stage, you also most likely are between 0 and $10,000 a month consistently in sales, or about 10 plus clients a month. And by the way, this is not a fixed number, but you kind of get the idea based on the description, right? If you're not doing $10,000 a month consistently, you're still in stage 1. And this is awesome, because actually getting out of stage 1 into stage 2 is the easiest thing, but it's the thing that most people on these online streets struggle with, because you're listening to too many teachers, you're taking too many courses, or those courses that you bought are in the what I call the Dropbox cemetery, waiting to be unearthed, and they're waiting for the zombie apocalypse to get resuscitated. Like somehow it's going to like fix your life, right? What you need to do is you need to focus on $10,000. That's it. Or helping 10 people every month, right? We like that number because it helps us create a goal. Now, some of you are like, I don't want to do the revenue goals because those don't motivate me. No, that's not true. Then why are you an entrepreneur? You don't want to make money? When somebody tells me, I just want to do it for the impact, or like, I don't like having that pressure on me to get $10,000 a month, I say, okay, so you want to starve, right? No one is served when we're hungry. Okay. No one is served when we're crippled with debt, right? Or with like that fear that our husband's going to like divorce us, or our wives, or, whoever, that they're going to divorce us because we're spending all that money and no return is coming, right? So this is why it's so important to focus. And instead of saying, oh, that seems impossible, or that's just too hard, you're probably working on the wrong things. I like to say, I like to work on the right hard things. There will be lots of hard in your business, but I don't want to do the stupid hard. Let's do the smart hard, right? Then what happens with a dam when it breaks? That's the smart hard. Then the flow comes, right? This is key, to not have your ego caught up in what stage you're in. Every single person on this planet started at 0, whether it's Oprah, Elon Musk, you, me, everybody starts at 0. Okay, so nobody's better than anybody. Don't put anybody on a pedestal, but you better know where you are so that you know what you got to do, right? Stage 2 is the probability stage. Actually, I think this is a little bit off right here. This is like, probability and predictability are kind of the same thing, right? Like, you want to be able to bet.
Sorry, that's my
No,
bad.
it's okay. I just want, like, if you guys see that, you're like, which one is it? It's basically the same thing, that you know with a higher predictability and probability that it can happen, because you have social proof, you have financial proof of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is proof of life in your business. This is where you're making over $10,000 up until about 50,000. How many of you would like to, if you're already doing that, fine, but $50,000 in revenue a month is a nice business, I also hate the word scale. I think that the way people use scale on these online streets is dangerous, okay? Because scaling is not better for a lot of you. Scaling means team, a lot of team, okay? A lot of pressure on the marketing and sales side. Most of you want to have a nice business where you help people making $1 million a year that you get to take home at least 50 to 60% of it. How many of you would like a business like that with a couple amazing humans who are helping you, and then other people who are really, really excited to help you when, like, let's say you have an event coming up or whatever, right? These ideas of like getting an 8-figure business is cool. If you want that, that's great. We have that, but it's not because, I mean, I'm good at business. That's like the only thing I'm good at, y'all, besides like knowing how to dress fancy, lazy. Like I'm not good at, anything else but these two things. So whatever you're good at, you want to be able to like really do that. Because if you start to think you have to become great at business past stage 2 and stage 3, your life will definitely look different, because you'll just be going back to corporate, because after stage 3, that's all corporate, right? Some of you want to build that, but I think most of you here don't. So if you are that person, this still applies, because a startup company who's starting a software business, like when Snapchat started, those young kids, because they was young, right? They were like 19 years old or something. They're billionaires now. They had to start this at the beginning too. Like, how can we get 10,000 users, right, onto the app, right? They needed to show proof so they could get venture capital. It's all the same. Venture capital is just a form of revenue, right? Then stage 3 is profitability. This is the sweet stage for most of us, which is, you're serving a lot of clients. You have systems in place. You have a Sarah full time on your team, right? And you're ready to explode. Like your platform is ready. You have a lot of social proof. You can get better deals. You can get sponsorships, right? In bigger ways. You can get paid for your, even just your thoughts, not just courses or consulting, but you can get paid just for your thoughts from other influencers, right? So these are the 3 stages. So with that said, with no shame attached, tell me in the feed, what stage are you in currently right now? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yes. Cool. So most of you are in stage 1. Gene, I see you're in stage 2 going to 3. Yes. Awesome. And there are stages beyond stage 3, obviously, as I said. But for the purpose of today's Ask Us Anything, this is really about knowing first and foremost that you need to know where you are now so you can plan the right hard things next. Does that make sense? Like if you're looking too far off in the future, if you're like, I want to be Oprah, Oprah's like stage 6. It's not even on this page right here. Okay. Oprah had to do things. You can skip through stages if you get momentum and traction, right? But you have to start at one place. And I feel like this framework allows us to have some breathing room to know what we have to do next, instead of trying to figure it out or getting seduced by the idea of multiple revenue streams and all the things that you can do, right? So does that help you guys? Do you see, like, when you know where you're at and you know where you got to go next, you can prioritize your steps, right? Okay. It's so important, because a lot of times, think about it, guys. Anybody you buy from, I don't care if it's a product or a service or a course, they're showing you their best at that point. Anybody who has traction in the online space, let's say Marie Forleo, Amy Porterfield, whoever, okay, they're past stage 3 already. So you're thinking, I gotta get to where they're at, but you're still at stage 1. They were at stage 1 too. I know both of them from back in the day. I've known them both for over a decade. And they had to go through the same trials and tribulations, but also the triumphs of moving from stage to stage, of being people that people would promote, right? Because they kept showing up for their craft. So now we're going to go ahead and ask some questions, because again, this is a Q&A, this is Ask Us Anything, but we wanted to use that framework as an anchor in the room today. So go ahead, you can ask any question in the chat. I know, Sarah, we have some pulled, right, to ask.
Yes, we have
okay.
4, in fact.
Okay, we have 4 questions.
Slides.
So
yeah.
if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and then I'm going to go into the questions. Okay.
Oh, this is such a good one. I actually got 3 questions that were like this, and I kind of just summarized it in this one question. But people say there's so many things they need to get done in a day. I feel like I'm always overwhelmed and there's no time to focus on things that grow my business. Some other variations of how people ask this question was like, I'm really not sure like how to do it all because I had someone who was helping me, then I don't have someone now and I feel like I have to take it back, or I need someone to help me, but I can't afford it yet. So there's a lot of like nuances to this, but this feeling of overwhelm and knowing how to focus on things that grow the business was one of the big pain points that I saw.
Okay, so I'll just tell you what works for me. And it's something I remain, and I'm so not like your typical teacher or consultant or advisor, because I will tell you there's certain things that I still don't like doing, but it creates flow for me. And so for that moment that I'm being a stubborn ass to myself, because you're not being a stubborn ass to nobody else, because nobody know you yet, because you're not telling them, you're being a stubborn ass to yourself. Okay. I get one thing a day done that I'm not looking forward to first. So meaning first thing after I do my morning ritual, which is I have my own morning ritual. I don't even start work till about 10. Okay. Because in the morning I want to have quiet. I go outside and sit in nature. I maybe will meditate, but it's not guaranteed. Okay. I have a morning like food routine to keep myself nourished. Okay. Then around 10, I get online because I don't want any social media or anything infecting me before 10 a.m. All right. But at that time, and by the way, I meant infection. Social media is an infection. Okay. And it's not going to, we can't get rid of it, but we can heal some of it if we show up. Right. I like to say like social media is the fuel for narcissism, right? And narcissists don't care. They're made of Teflon, y'all. They'll say anything. It's the people that are like, I just want to heal the world. I want to help the world. I want to this. We're the ones wondering, should we look like them? No, we don't have to look like them. We have to look at ourselves. So anyway, back to the hard things. So like, okay, what was Monday? Tax day. Oh, taxes, right? I'm proud of the fact that I pay a lot in taxes now, but I still don't like it. Ask Sarah. It's one of the things I absolutely hate. Like I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But it's last week I had to deal with it. And what I tell myself after I get into my morning routine is because I gave myself the gift of a peaceful morning. Does that make sense? I gave myself the gift of a peaceful morning. So now I'm going to go do a right hard thing. And when you choose one right hard thing a day to do, it's crazy how it opens up flow for the rest of the day. It's crazy. You knock that thing out, it's crazy. And it always takes less time than we think, right? I'm always like, oh my God, it's going to take 2 hours of my day. It's really 2 hours of procrastinating. Then when I finally did it, it's like 15 minutes, right? So whatever that one thing that if I did this today, it would get off my mind. Because that's like, Crystal Holm is here. She's a decluttering expert, feng shui expert. If you declutter one thing, right, it creates flow. That's why Marie Kondo is, the magic of tidying up, right? Like and so it's that's what I do. So I just want to share it. But Sarah's going to probably share something more tactical and practical with you. I think that's practical. Do one thing. That's what I give you.
It is. I think I'm going to plus one what you said. And so the way that we make sure that time is set aside and for that flow for Jen, and I have it too, actually on my calendar. So everything that we do is in Google Calendars, and you don't have to use Google Calendars. It's not about Google Calendars, but everything is planned pretty much inside of one calendar space that Jen and I can both see together. And in fact, I do it for myself and my full leadership team. We all use kind of the same system, color coding even of our calendar events. And so for Jen's calendar, there's literally an event that says no calls. That is from 8 in the morning till like almost 11:30. And there are sometimes we make exceptions for like VIP clients or consulting East Coast, things like that, because we're both on Pacific time, where we'll have to block things out. But it's in all caps every day, no calls, like just very straightforward. And we blocked it out. And over time, like we fought really hard. I will use the same word that Jen used earlier, literally, to figure out how to still show up as our best selves for clients and with team meetings and the craziness of schedules that are out there and fulfillment, but also make sacred time for the flow, for processing, for eating lunch, for breakfast, for working out, for all of the things. And I talk often, concept Jen taught me that really stuck with me over these years, integration over separation. Life and business is in the same calendar. The events are color coded a little different because I'm OCD like that. And I like to be able to just quickly see when I'm looking at it, the layout and the feel of the week. So I'll use colors for that. But everything is in there, personal stuff, travel things,
Doctor's appointments,
all of it. Time with the kids, and
transparency,
all of it, transparency. And I have mine in my calendar like that. My marketing manager, his is the same way. And we're able to kind of just see across the feel and flow of where everybody's at. And so for me, as someone who manages multiple people inside and multiple companies, even with Jen and inside of different things, it just kind of helps me know where the rhythm of things is at. And I think that's sometimes, I think in the beginning for me, I was like a little bit apprehensive to make my schedule that structured because I don't like to be told what to do.
She's a maverick archetype.
I'm a maverick archetype. Don't tell me what to do. Or I'll put like stuff in the calendar and I'll purposely not do it because the calendar told me I needed to do it. Like weird stuff like that in my brain, in case these little rebellions that are happening. But when I realized like, oh, this helps to set cadence and that pattern of momentum and the daily kind of structure and almost like this ritual, if you will, that allows us to all be in a practice of our craft. I looked at it a whole different way than just like, I'm confined to this schedule. So put it on your calendar, what gets scheduled gets done. And that includes that space of like the one important thing that you have to work on and whatever prep time and transition you need in the morning to get ready for that one important thing. So I hope
that's awesome. And here's another tip that's there. I have 2 rules with my calendar besides we call it eating a frog, slaying your dragons in the morning. I'm like, I slay 1 dragon a day. Okay. Cause I'm Khaleesi and I'm gonna slay a damn dragon. I'm gonna ride a dragon every day. Okay. So I slay at least 1 dragon a day. And then the next thing is, all of those spaces for work getting done, I can only fit work into those spaces. It's called Parkinson's law. It's an actual scientific theory that whatever vacuum you give to any activity, it will fill up. So when we trained first our team, then our clients, how we could have rhythm, I only work within those time periods. When I say work on client work on the rest of the time is creative. What's next? My thing is I'm the visionary, right? I'm the visionizer, we call it. So I'm working on what's next. I'm feeling peaceful in my body because our body is truly our home, right? It's our home. We have to come back to ourselves. And so if you're worried, like I never have enough time in the day, I'm like, if you had 3 hours a day times 5 days, 5 business days, 15 hours, and you're in stage 1, let's go back to that framework, right? In 15 hours, let's just do the math, okay? 15 hours, $10,000 divided by 15 hours. I don't like that number. Let's say 15 times 4, which is a month, 4 weeks, 15 hours a week, right? That's 60 hours a month that you focused and made that the only time you're available for client work, right? For fulfillment, right? If you divide that by 10,000, 10,000 divided by 60, you only have to find $167 an hour, right? Now, if you have programs that are like $2,000, think about this. You only have to sell 5 in a month in the 60 hours. And some of you guys are using, so 5 programs, $10,000 in 60 hours. You should be able to find 5 people a month if you focus on the right hard things. Instead of going, I need to get 100 people into this thing. I got to get 1 million people into this thing.
Oh, that part right there.
You got to get your money first.
All that sexy math that they put in there. You need 100 clients. We're going to 10x your roster. This is how you're going to become a millionaire. You need 7 streams of income. Oh, the pain.
It's just really like it's
who has time for that? I would be overwhelmed.
It's a money leak in your business. Yeah. And the worst part of it, friends, is that it's making your confidence, right, Diana? It's breaking your confidence. It's making you think that you can't do what those people are doing. And that's trust it and believe it when I tell you that I am the advisor for most influencers online. They pay us 6 figures just to work with us. And they're doing the same shit we're telling you, because we tell them, if you really want to have some space, do it this way, right? So we're not teaching you anything different that we teach people who are making millions of dollars, because it works. And I would rather, I like to say, like, I like boring money. Boring money is sexy, right? Give me that money. Let me enjoy my life. Let my team enjoy their life. And we make an impact still. And for those of you that are our current clients or former clients, you know that, right? So 2 things. So my 2 things again are slay your dragon in the morning and decide how many hours you're going to work, and then do everything within those hours. If you put in your calendar, it shows when you're going to work. I mean, I can show you my calendar for today. I didn't have anything on my calendar till now. I mean, I did. It was blocked out, no calls. I can show you. I'll show you. I don't know if you can see that, but it says no calls, as Sarah said, right there, from 8 to this call. No calls, because this morning I need to get prepared for you. I need to think about what I want to do. I also had a doctor's appointment, but that's, whatever we tell you, we eat our own dog food. We never bullshit you. And you're like, oh, how do you make it so easy? It wasn't easy in the beginning. I fought it. I was like, there's just no way. I burnt myself out the first couple of years. I was in the space that you're currently in until I fought for this schedule. When Sarah said, I said, we do not have integration over separation. We have too much separation in our schedules. We need to integrate it. And she found a system to support it. I didn't try to make her, I didn't tell her how. I told her the concept, the context. That's what visionizers are good at, context. We're not good at the content. Okay. So she does the how, I do the why and the what. I'm the why and the what, and she is the how and the who. Who's going to do it? How are we going to do it? If you get yourself out of the who and the how, but you find people who will tell you that, and we do that for our clients. Sarah helps our clients do that. How many of you would like Sarah to be like, can you do this for me that you do for Jen? That's what we do in CEO Circle, is so that we can then get you to your money so that you can hire your Sarah. And we felt this was such a hole in the marketplace that nobody wants to give up their Sarah, but nobody really has a Sarah. Okay, let's just put it that way. We have a lot of clients who have totally been able to get some, we call them the mobilizer in our structure. So Sarah,
some really good ones too.
Yeah, and we
really good ones.
Trained up amazing mobilizers.
Yeah, I probably at least a dozen in the past year that have taken businesses to absolutely the next level and moved in full time. So if any of you, and I'm not, because she's actually quoted, but Rachel Rogers, when she first, if any of you guys know Rachel Rogers, she just wrote that Wall Street Journal book. We should all be millionaires. When Rachel came to work with us, she had an amazing team, really good team, but they didn't have this structure in place. So she was always having to command everything. And we told her,
time to get a full-time mobilizer and give them that role in your company. And from that moment on, they went from a 7-figure company to an 8-figure company in the pandemic, right? So it works. And so I just encourage you, whether you work with us or not, to trust the process, because it won't happen overnight, but it will happen if you stick with the right frameworks. Okay, let's keep it moving because I know we got other questions.
Oh, here's another one. How do I get better at putting myself out there when I have a hard time asking for things? I like working with my clients, but I'm not good at sales and marketing. And for context, the theme of this month is about prioritizing business activities to go from possibility to getting the work done. I hear this all the time, Jen. I don't like marketing. I don't like sales. I'm not a marketer. I'm just good as an expert. How am I supposed to prioritize business activities that I'm not good at, that I don't like doing? What do I do?
Mm-hmm. So first and foremost, you need to have the clarity of what you want. That's the first thing. So the clarity of what you want is, that's what we use the framework that I just showed you. I want $10,000 or $50,000 every month based on the stage that you're in, right? So in order to do that, I have a program. In our case, we'll just use one of our programs, CEO Circle, right? How many CEO circles do I have to offer this month to hit the number that we want to hit? And then I tell Sarah, go create a plan to get there. Now, in the early days, if you know my background, I came from corporate. I used to be a vice president at Verizon, was my last job in the corporate world. And I was the VP of business to business marketing and strategy. And I used to be PMP certified, y'all. If y'all know what that is, I was a PMP certified project manager and an executive. And there was a time where organization was part of my job. I had to do it, but I hated it, right? I wasn't really good at it, but I was good at leading teams. So it kind of worked. I have fired myself from being organized. I just took it off. Like, I'm like, if I keep doing that, I'm never going to break through. So how I want to answer this question is, if you have the right advisors telling you, here's what you should focus on, like literally these things, would that help you? Right? Because you're trying to unpack it from Amy Porterfield's course or Stu McLaren's course on memberships, or like being in life coach school, whatever you're in. Okay. And we always tell people, like, this week, do these things. Like, but the thing is that you don't know what to do. So we just tell people what to do every week because I'm a ruler archetype. And for me, it's like, there's no sense in trying to figure stuff out that you don't need to figure out. You need to get the clients to do what you love, which is serve them. Most people who are experts, specialists, product developers, et cetera, they're not good at sales and marketing. Sales and marketing is a craft. So imagine if I told you, you need to be a craft worker on marketing, and you need to be a craft worker at portraiture. You need to be a craft worker on events and marketing. Events and marketing are not the same thing, right? Filling the room is different than leading the room. And so I just want to answer this question as like, you're probably trying to figure out sales and marketing, and it's not your craft. So at the minimum, whether you work with us or not, if you have a program in sales and marketing, I dare you to actually just this week do something in it based on the question number 1. Like, what are the hard things you're avoiding in what people have taught you? Or just make it easy and hire us, and we'll tell you what to do every week so you can get get to the promised land faster, right? But a lot of times, and I say this with love, truly, even if we tell you what to do, you won't do it. Oh, that pisses me off. For you, I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna get my money. If you hate money and you don't want to help people, I can't support you with that. Okay, I love you, but I got to tell you straight, because nobody's telling people straight. You've got some mindset shit, which we all do. I got lots of mindset shit too, right? We've got this trash between our ears that we keep recycling instead of putting it away, right? And that's what I call being values driven, which is not the topic of this month's thing, but that's the philosophy on our campus is when you're values driven, you don't lose steam in your business. You understand why you're doing the hard thing, and you also enjoy the fruits of the easy flow things more. You appreciate your wins and you don't get devastated by your losses, right? And so I would say that in sales and marketing, the first thing is work with people that actually know and will tell you what to do every week. Number two, at the minimum, slay a dragon every day, right? That'll make you better at sales and marketing, whether you believe it or not. Because even if that dragon is taxes, then after you're done with taxes, you can't say taxes was your reason that not to market yourself that day, right? Whatever that extra thing was. So that's why time and managing your time is so important. Okay. And also let's just talk about marketing. What is marketing? Write down this definition. Marketing is simply letting people know how you can help them. That's it. Simply letting people know how you can help them. And when you frame marketing like that, you're not so worried about failing at it. You will fail at it. No one's perfect at marketing except for Apple, but it's cult now. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like, you are never going to be perfect at marketing. Neither will I. How you get better at marketing is by helping more people. Okay. So that part. So if you're like, oh, I like working with my clients, working with your clients is social proof. It becomes an authority story in your business that you actually got people a transformation, that you got them a breakthrough. That's marketing, right? But then you're not sharing that win with anybody else because you're like, it's not a big deal. And they didn't pay me a lot. You know, they only paid me like $100 because I was just trying it on them. And now I want to charge $1,000 for it. That's not the right math, y'all. Okay. The currency of a testimonial and case study is worth far more than $100 versus $1,000 in the long run. Because that's the other thing about business. It's not a short-term venture, y'all. If you want a business to be your thing, then you're in this for the long haul. If you're not, and you're trying to get rich fast, let me tell you what, don't be a coach, consultant, advisor, or expert. Because it's not a make money fast business. It's a make money, a lot of profitable money in the long run. That's what it is. Don't let anybody make you think different. Because they're, you know what you are, you're thinking that you can be a lazy marketer because they were lazy marketing to you and you fell for it. Ooh, I need to drink some tea. If you fall for lazy marketing, that means that you want to model lazy marketing, right? And trust me, they earned their way to be lazy. Somehow. They paid for paid advertising, and none of these things are bad, okay? But that's how it works. There's only 3 types of traffic, marketing traffic: organic, paid, and partnership traffic, right? You want to be good at marketing, you got to be able to be good at least one of them, right? Most of the courses, like everybody wants to build a course, and I think that's not, if you're stage 1, that is not your first step. You do not want to build a course. Because anybody who has sold you a course about building courses has partners, affiliate partners. You understand this? And they became great at that. So then you feel like you are going to miss out if one of the partners' bonuses is so dope that you need that. It's a game, y'all. That's marketing, right? So then people are like, oh, well, how are people making all this money with courses? They're probably good at organic. They've built a community. Organic, best way to build an organic community is build a community, get engagement, right? Best way to do paid advertising is definitely, even though people are saying it's not, the best way for paid traffic is YouTube and Facebook right now. It's still the cheapest traffic you can buy. But for those of you that can support local people or your local community, analog works better. IRL over URL. Don't let anybody tell you, even if you want a digital business or a virtual business, there are millions of dollars in your backyard, millions. We live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I mean, millions available here. You only need 1,000 true fans to become an entrepreneur. I mean, become a millionaire. So like, you guys are looking for love in all the wrong places. That's what I'm saying. Okay. You're looking for marketing traffic from a bro marketer or somebody who says it's going to be easy. Like you're one funnel away from the magic. You ain't one funnel away from the magic, because funnels are not smart, meaning their message, if you don't have the right message and the right offer, funnels don't work. So how can you be just one funnel away? You need better messaging. You need better clarity of your offer. So if your offer and your messaging aren't working, that's why you don't have clients. And that's what you should focus on: messaging and clarity of your offer. Not the dumb funnel that doesn't know anything, because a dumb funnel is just, it's zaps. Literally, Zapier is moving one app to another. That's all it is. But what's in there is your sauce. It's your special sauce. It's your messaging. It's your offer, right? And I already mentioned partners, right? So partners is rounding up people to refer you, right? Which is great. But a lot of people won't refer you in the beginning because you don't have any social proof. So that's why if you're in stage 1, get 10 people to try your offer and get them a transformation and a breakthrough quickly. Then you'll move to stage 2 very quickly. You'll promote yourself to stage 2, and then you have more disposable income to hire a team and pay for traffic. I hope that supported you, because I know that was like a little masterclass in how to like deal with traffic. That's how it really works. That's what I want y'all to understand. That's how it really works. Okay. Cool. All right. Next question.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay, so somebody is on catching the replay. They asked, when do you know it's time to give up? My audience, so hotel, lodge, B&B, hostel owners, people who are grossly affected by the pandemic, don't seem to have the time and interest to learn the things I teach. And if they do, they don't seem to have a budget. I'm starting to feel resentful of the work I'm doing. And some of the context is long, so let me just truncate the very short background. She's worked in hotel marketing, and she has a lot of firsthand experience. And that's what she wants to do inside of her business as an expert. So she's starting to feel like, what happens when you have an audience or you have a niche that doesn't seem to understand the value of what you bring to them?
Okay, everybody lean in. This is very important. This is good popping off from the last question. What this means is the offer and the market are a mismatch. The offer doesn't match what the market wants or needs right now, period. Don't tell me that hotels, lodges, B&Bs, and hostel owners don't need things. They need things, right? Now, so number 1, the offer is a mismatch, or it's probably an and how she's messaging that is not clear, right? Let's define an offer. A great offer tells the results that the customer can expect by investing in it. If your offer is just about the features and benefits of your product or service, that is not a good offer. Because people only care about themselves, friends. They don't care about your offer. They don't care how shiny it is. They want to know, what about me? How is this going to help me get through? And a lot of you are not leading with the results. You're afraid to, but you got to put your ass on the line, because why would they pay you otherwise, right? Taking out your wallet is a risk. Am I right? Anything we pay for, that is a risk when we pay for things. If I said to y'all should work with us, you want to take out your wallet, right? But you're like, I'm scared, or I don't know if I have enough money to do that, right? Why do you think your clients are any different? They are going through the same thought process, right? So it has to be juicy. The result has to be about them. So if you're not leading with your results, you don't have a good offer. Now, I know some of you are like, yeah, but I'm in stage 1, so I haven't really offered it. Exactly. So you need to beta test your offer with a core group of people who you feel, if they had the money. Don't beta test your stuff on people who don't have money. People who don't have money, don't buy things. You want to find 5 people and ask them, I'll be your huckleberry. You give me a chance. But what I ask for in return is, number 1, you don't, because people will say, I don't do free. I'm like, that's too bad. You know why? Because you're not doing free right. Doing free right looks like I'm going to get 5 people and you're going to put rules in place. You're going to set boundaries. You're going to say to them, look, I know that you may not think you're going to get a transformation, but here's what I believe this is going to do for you. Okay. So tell you what, I'm going to work with you for 90 days. That's the max. I'm giving y'all a little to-do list right here. 90 days. Don't ever do anything for free over that. You don't need more than 90 days to figure out if you can get a breakthrough. If you need more than 90 days, your offer's too complicated. That's the first thing. Number 2. So, and then you say, in return, right, I would like a case study from you. Okay. But here's the other thing. If you don't show up for our calls, you're out. And of course you say it in a nicer way. I'm trying to truncate this conversation. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, or any way you want to, I don't care. If you're more like a maverick and you're like, look, I'm going to put my time and energy, which is a lot more important than money, into you. And all I ask is for you to do exactly as I've coached you or consulted or advised you to do. And if you do that, because guess what's going to happen, y'all? Because this happened to me. I should tell the MoPro story. I always tell it. When you do that, you think they're going to stop wanting to work with you after 90 days? They're going to be like, I need more of this. Great. So now, after 90 days, now it costs something to work with me. But see, you all waiting to make money like a year-long program or like a course that's going to sell 100 units. And I'm like, that is the hard way to get broke. Okay. You got to like do exactly as I just said. Right? If you're stage 1, if you're stage 3 or 4, it's all about systems at that point. Like if you're stage 2 or 3, it's all about systems, team. How do you get them in a cadence, right? That's if you're in stage 2 or 3. But stage 1 is about beta and then getting your money. Let me tell you a story. So when I first, I told you the story about me and Sarah, how we met. Now I wanted to I was selling my program called Master Brand, and we still sell it, but not really, because we're going to sell it big time in 2023, 2024, because we have all these big plans. Okay. And Master Brand lasted 8 weeks, right, Sarah? I think 8, I don't remember, 8 weeks. And then after that, people were like, okay, I understand strategy now, but what do I do with it? Right. And I was like, oh, I don't have anything for you. I just wanted people to buy the Master Brand program. And at the time it cost $3,500. And I used to work one-on-one with people in the Master Brand program for $3,500. And then they were all saying, I really want to be in a community, and we want to like keep learning, and we want to execute what we're learning. And so I said, okay, but I won't do it unless I know I want to do it. Because there's the key too. Some of you guys are creating offers you don't even want to do. That you're stuck in a contract for a year and you're like, time cannot be fast enough for me to get out of this contract. It is a mistake to be committed to anybody for more than 3 months at a time. Okay. So I said, look, I will take 20 people and I will mentor them for 90 days for free. I said it on Facebook. I had over 120 people DM me and I picked 20. Okay. And in the beginning, I set a goal for myself. I said, if 10 of the 20 make it through the program and I can get phenomenal results for them, I will create this program. It was called Momentum Pro. My Tesla, my car, my license plate says MoPro because MoPro is the program that made me a millionaire. Okay. That's what I want y'all to hear. I got it right. 20 people stayed on, 5 were drama queens. Oh my God, like fighting, crybabying, fussing. I was like, I don't do fuss. I do vulnerability, but I don't do fuss. There's a difference between vulnerability and fragility. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like we are safe here, but also you need to know that if you are fussing and not doing the work, and that's the reason you ain't getting it done. Now, if something happens in your life, right? That's vulnerability. Like, hey, I'm going through a health problem. That's different. But if it's like, oh, I just didn't do it because that's too hard, I'm like, oh, you're not a good fit for me, because that's how you find out your ideal clients, right? 5 of them were fussy and 5 of them just could not break through. but 10 of them did. And when I asked, would you guys like to pay me $30,000 each to work with me and continue? All 10 of them did. How much money is that in 90 days? 300,000. Then I knew I was onto something. Okay. So then I did the whole 90 days again. Then I did a webinar and I modeled my framework. I showed you, we have like, our company is full of frameworks. We call them use cases, unique solution expertise. That comes from my corporate background. I actually believe a lot of entrepreneurs are not using corporate strategies to run their businesses, and that's not smart. Okay. But you don't have to, you don't get the red tape and the politics in there, but like the structures, it's what makes you disciplined. And I like to say discipline is also a dirty word, especially for women. I'm like, the root of the word discipline is disciple. And if you are not a disciple, an avid follower of your own dreams, who else is going to be? Why would they follow you? Right? That's so I then turned that $300,000. I took the money, right, Sarah? I hired Sarah full time at that point. That was the moment when I could afford it, right? I put like $4,000 to paid ads. I drove people into a webinar called was called the 90-minute brand plan. Do you know? And then I changed the price point. It went from 30,000 to 12,000 because I wanted to not be so in it. Carrying 10 people one-on-one is a lot, right? So then I took that and then I charged 12,000. And in this webinar, how many people signed up for it through the checkout? That was even no sales call. How much was it? 17 or something like that? 17 people signed up on that webinar for $12,000. How much money is that? Let's just do the money.
It was insane.
It was insane. $12,000 times 17. That's $204,000. Now, then I was like, we could do this every quarter and have $1 million year in year one. And that's how you find your thing. But many of you are following the wrong path and you're following from the wrong point A, right? And so I know some of you are like, Jen, it's easy for you to do that because you're good at sales and marketing. Yeah, I'm good at what I do. I'm good at business. That's why people hire us, right? So if you're good at what you do and you demonstrate it in the way that I just did, do you think you'll get more clients? The answer is yes, right? So back to this question specifically. When do you know when it's time to give up? When you hire us to tell you what to do right. And then if it doesn't happen, then you can give up. Okay? But you have not been led right. You have been fed and led down to the wrong place. And it's, I used to be more nice about this in the early days when I want people to like me. I was like, I can nurture you and show you, blah, blah, blah. But now I just know I need to shake you up, right? I need to shake off all that debris that you've got on you from the rubble on the internet streets, okay? That is the truth. So you don't have an offer that's working, question 3, asker, and most of you don't. And you find out the right offer through offering something, and it will reveal to you, right, what's next. That's why on our campus, we call it what's now, what's next. You focus on what's now and you just focus on what's next, and that creates momentum. Okay. I hope that example helped you a lot. And probably, like, I know some of you will go, oh, now God, Jen, you gave me such a great template to work from. Yes, I did. And it actually works. But if your offer isn't good, it won't even work from the get. How do you know your offer is good? That's something you have to figure out based on your craft, right? Based on your market, based on your messaging, based on your authority and approachability stories. There's a model there, right? So, but absolutely, everything I just shared, what we did, you can absolutely achieve. I told you how to do it. Okay. All right. Let me see. Whew. Bye, Gina. You probably left already. Okay, cool. All right, let's go. So we are almost at time. Okay, How do you build better systems in order to build better automation in your business? That's a Sarah question.
So the question that I have, my response is, if someone asked me this, there are two different hemispheres of your business. One is marketing and one is fulfillment, right? So one is the marketing, the part about how to reach out to new people in your audience, how to get them to join your list, how to get them on sales calls and move them into inviting them into working with you. The second hemisphere is fulfillment. How do you go about delivering on the promise that they paid you for? What is, the experience, the offer, so on and so forth. And I recommend building systems as you're doing them. This is not like a pre-thing that you can go in and pre-build all of these systems and then that makes the checklist and just makes everything easy. That's not true. You want to test and work on the things and tweak them and be in the work. And as you're doing that, documenting what's going on. And over time, if you do that for 1 quarter, 2 quarters even, it'll help you know to focus what are the areas that are still sticky, that are taking too long, that are feeling hard, that are not quite organized or efficient enough, and really focusing on those to say, how can we maybe automate a little bit more things? But I think you don't want to automate things too soon. I think that's another big lie that's on the internet, that you can just throw on this funnel and it's automation and people will just experience transformation and throw money your way. That's not how that works. It doesn't work like that at all. You do want to set things up so that you're doing not a whole lot of manual labor on things that shouldn't require your time. You don't want to spend all your time copying and pasting, for example, or data entry, or like repeating yourself over and over. You don't want redundant tasks, but you can't automate everything. There's just a lot in the beginning stages, especially, that really need to come from you. People need to see you and feel you and know your heart and your soul and your values and all of these things. So that's my advice. So if you're asking how to specifically build better systems, pick which one it is that you really feel like you need to get more organized. Is it really your marketing this quarter, or is it your fulfillment? And be intentional about, as you're going through that in the next 90 days, logging and documenting what's going on. Over time, that will really tell you where there's redundancies that you can tweak and maybe add an app or a Zap or something else in there. But it's not all going to come from just knowing off the bat, like, hey, here's a recommended swipe copy. One of the things that I love in CEO Circle is when people ask me questions about systems, I have a system probably for every single thing out there. And there's a lot of people who have asked, well, can't you just give me your entire systems bank? I was like, no, because it doesn't apply to you. Why would you need to learn every single system that I've ever built that works for our business? But we have 4 different businesses and we're in stage 4 already, essentially, of what we're doing. That's not going to help you in stage 1. That's going to be so overwhelming. And what a learning curve, right? I really like to pick and choose things in hot seats to be able to assign based on what I know they need at the time. And that's really important. That's the second thing that I would give a recommendation on, is don't reinvent the wheel. Get the support that you need early on up top to be able to know what to focus on and how. And something else, that a best practice that someone else has done. Jen's spoken about a lot of best practices today, especially around marketing, sales, leadership, that we've used. It's not necessarily just teaching. It's for the sake of teaching. It's not at all, right? It's there so that these are the best practices that we are tried and true of all the things that we've done. These are the ones that work. And so we're just paying it forward in these Ask Us Anythings to help better support you where you're starting. So I hope that helps. It's a more of a macro view. Again, if you want to get niche and micro, we can chat with our team, see how we can help you with that. Because I've got micro systems for everything.
She has micro systems for everything. She has a label for every drawer. Let's put it that way. Every drawer has a label. Okay, she knows where everything is, all the dead bodies. But I want to translate a bit to what Sarah's talking about when she talked about the 2 hemispheres. So there's the marketing and the fulfillment, right? So if you start to see some traction on your marketing, your efforts on marketing, that's a clear sign that you want to put some system under it. You want to say, okay, this is a way that's working. So now I need to really document what's working over here. And then that's what gets edited, right? And the best way to use a virtual assistant is to say, can you be on the phone with me on a Zoom? And I'm just going to rattle off the steps that I took to make this thing work. Let that person do that for you and turn it into a marketing SOP, which stands for standard operating procedure, right? lot of you are doing things where you're trying to figure it out. Like as Sarah said, focus on the systems and like the systemization of things that are working, and the things that aren't working, or it's a one-time thing only, or you never want to do again. Don't bother building a system under it. That's a waste of your time. Because one of the things that wastes our time the most is busy work. And yet we want a trophy for the busy work. We want a seal of approval. Look, Sarah, look, Jen, look what we did. We did all this busy work. And I'm not saying that's not, congratulations, you got something done, but is it the right hard thing? Is it the thing you actually needed to do? And when you have help with that, it's priceless. Because I don't know about you, but I love my businesses, but I love my life even more. And I really want to fight for that. And so I'll go to anybody and pay anything to get my freedom, and I will get off my ego and I will do the things that matter. So do the things that matter. That's the answer. How do you build better systems? Build systems for things that matter. That's it. All right. We got to keep it moving. So here's our what's now, what's next. Again, it's one of the philosophies on our campus is you focus on what's now. Like if you're stage 1, you got to get to stage 2. If you're stage 2, you got to get to stage 3, right? And you got to do the things inside of that to do that. So here's our recommendations to you is first, define your stage of business and what you need to focus on based on, in fact, we had 4 great questions. And all of you who submitted questions, great questions, because I think they helped open up a lot of different conversations. Pick your stage of business, an ego detached stage from where you are, get the support you need, and make a plan for just these next 5 days. Just these next 5 days. Don't worry about what you're going to do in June, right? Think about what you got to get done with that. And one of our biggest recommendations is maybe one of the first things you do is get on a call with us to help you figure out where your priorities are. I promise you that call will cleanse a lot of your clutter in your head. Whether you choose to work with us or not, the key to it is like going, here's what I've got on my plate, and allowing our business advisors to say, okay, well, here's our recommendation. And if we also think you're not ready to work with us, we'll tell you that too. Not just financially, just like maybe there's other things you need to do first. And that's okay. But a lot of people don't get on calls because they're afraid they're going to get sold, they're going to whatever. Like, yes, we will offer you if we think it works for you, because it is our responsibility to stay in business and to offer highly valuable things, right? But we are also very good at we're not going to drag you over a finish line. So I really recommend go to confidently.me/VIP. You can book a call with us and then we have a conversation. Okay. All right. So we have 5 minutes left. So I just want to do some parting words. Or maybe what we could do, because I don't know how many people are still here. How many people are still here? I'd love to take 3 shares where you will unmute yourself, okay? And tell us what was the biggest value and what is the next, what's now, which is what is your greatest value that you got from this Ask Us Anything? And number 2, what is your next step? So anybody want to go? You can, Sarah, do you have to unmute them if that's the case?
I think they should be able to unmute.
Okay, great. So Diana, you can go ahead and unmute.
So I'm from the call and response family, if you haven't noticed by now in the chat. Not ashamed of it, nor am I apologizing. But I want to tell you that I just feel that, I mean, everything, I've got so many notes. So I'm trying to figure out like which one that I want to focus on. But I believe that building 1,000 true fans, that really spoke to me, because I believe in it was the IFS, or what was it? The for real, or whatever the acronym you guys used.
The IRL.
The in real life over online. Yeah.
In real life, because I'm in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm really trying to so when you said focus on those 1,000 fans, that meant something to me, because I believe that I'm growing a movement, and I'm growing the people that are like going to grow with me. And if they can speak for me, then that makes sense, and that they will follow. So 1,000 fans. And I'm also, just to tell you my next step, I'm really got to focus more on YouTube. So that's one thing I want to do more is really taking advantage of that. So I love this call. It rocks.
Amazing.
I love you guys.
We
Thank
love
you
you,
so much.
Diana. You're such a
Thank you.
superstar.
I love it.
There. Squeaky wheels get the oil.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rebecca, and it's great to be with you all. I have 2 pages of notes, so there's lots to take away. But my main now is getting my offer out there and making it results oriented. I'm at a point where I need to put the beta out and just let people know that the company is there. I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and it's not helpful if nobody knows that I'm in business. They can't get my offer. So that is what's top of mind. And just, I want to say a tremendous amount of gratitude for the push and to be in a really welcoming community. So thank you.
Thanks for being here. Amazing. All right, one more. Crystal, which Crystal? Home. I see you want to share. That's what I'm believing right now. I feel like you're giving me those energetic vibes.
Oh, well, all right. Goodness, what's now? Well, I did just launch YouTube. That's my big focus for the year. Jen's been pushing forever. I tried it in 2019 and it did not go well. We tried again. It's going awesome and I love it. The next big thing I think is like a keynote speech for me. That's what I'm working on this quarter.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And I love that Naomi, she kind of like put her win-win inside of we call it win-win. What is now, what is next, right? So feel free to put it in the chat. And again, if you go to confidently.me/VIP, you can have your call with one of our business advisors. And we hope you have an amazing week and focus on what matters. Sarah, any last words?
No, thanks all for hanging out with us. And those of you on the replay, oh, look, see, I have timers for everything. Those of you on the replay, we missed you. I hope that you all got value. Be sure to reply to the email that has this replay link and share with me what your value was, because I'm looking forward to hearing that as well.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.